toes.
Darkness is the absence of light. And that's a proven fact. So in that way, hatred is the absence of love. So if you don't love God, the true God, Jesus Christ, then you have no love for him, so you hate him. And that's why atheists hate God. And for the atheists, I'll say, well, do you love Zeus, or do you love Apollo, or do you hate them? Those aren't real, they're fictional. So there's really no point in talking about them like that, because this isn't what this is about. This is about God, the loving God.
Oh, how there is good reason to bring them up, and I'ma explain to you why. Oh, and for the record, just because you say that doesn't count, doesn't mean that doesn't count. But I'll get into the fundamentals of debating in a bit. How does one love or hate something that they consider to be fictional? Well, truth is, you can. As far as comic books go, I love Wolverine, and I absolutely hate Jubilee. Talk about the most useless. But hating God or religion is not a characteristic of atheism. It's a characteristic of anti-theism. So to claim that atheists hate God, especially here on YouTube, is kind of like covering yourself with red target paint and publicly broadcasting to the internet that you really don't know about what you're talking about. Unfortunately for my self-restraint, I respect you somewhat. Basing this on the comments of another one of your videos, you seem to want to learn, so that warrants some respect from me. So as soon as I was done laughing, I decided to make this video. It seemed to me that you were unwilling to even possibly accept the existence of Zeus or another deity. I don't really understand how you can be so blind to the truth, since he's obviously real. Frankly, I consider that to be closed-minded, because even as an atheist, I still openly accept the possible notion of your God, Yahweh. Although I should probably point out, after 26 years of not being convinced, you got your work cut out for you. So, pertaining to the subject of keeping an open mind for other deities, there have been creationists who have argued that point to me to prove, and yes, I did say prove, the existence of Yahweh. Talk about low standards of proof. And in a mockery fashion, I am inclined to do the same here, but I would never presume to be so publicly ignorant in a debate, if you want to call it a debate. Merely dismissing a deity because you consider it to be fictional doesn't really solve the problem, does it? In an intellectual forum, one is required to explain why it is fictional. Likewise, it is the opposition's responsibility to prove why it is not fictional. At this point, we can get into matters of proof and evidence and what they truly consist of. But after all, you do have access to the internet, so I'm pretty sure you can look up the definitions for yourself. So, in conclusion, to respectfully answer your question, well, more specifically your assumption about atheists, I don't in fact love or hate Zeus. I don't in fact love or hate Yahweh. And in fact, I would say if I had to choose between the two, I would actually probably favor Zeus, because the guy is a pimp and a badass. That guy got macked all the time, and he was not a tight ass like Yahweh, so yeah, I guess he's my favorite supervillain in this comic book. Now, you might find it insulting that I would use a comic book as a metaphor for your Bible, but to me, they are essentially the same thing. They offer people emotional security. I mean, who hasn't actually imagined being the Hulk and smashing the living piss out of anyone who bothers you? I'm not a nerd, I swear. But why is this familiar? It's almost like everybody who doesn't do what I say is going to hell. With comic books, you at least get cool illustrations. If I haven't articulated my point by now, I don't know how else I can. Reading about something does not make it real. So I actually have a response question back at you, my friend. If you're perfectly content believing that Hulk smash is of this reality, and you are secure in your beliefs, then why would you go out of your way to demonstrate what you consider to be your opposition, namely atheists, that they should be believing in your comic book, and not just living out happy little lives, having tea parties with Satan, and promiscuous sex with supermodels? No, seriously, why do you feel the need to go out of your way to prove us wrong?